students are responsible for knowing everything in the handbook. We're not going to touch on every topic today, but right now I want to talk about behavior and discipline. On page 14 you will find the beginning of our behavior expectations and discipline policies. The school zone is identified there in bold for you on page 14 as on St. Joseph High School property, at a St. Joseph High School sponsored event, home or away, traveling to and from the school day, or while on school sponsored transportation. So within the school zone we have very high expectations of our students, so make sure that you understand that violations of school policy within the school zone can come with consequences. As we get into the disciplinary process on the bottom of page 14 and 15, understand that minor offenses may be dealt with in the classroom by your teachers in ways such as giving you AMs or PMs or having conversations. That will be up to them. But as things become more serious, you may find yourself with an after school or a before school detention. Typically those are an hour long. Those often come with discipline points as well. Every time you receive a detention during the school year, you receive points with that detention. If you accumulate 7 discipline points in one school year, you will be put on probation, which I'll talk about shortly. Every time you receive a detention, it's not necessarily 1 point for each detention. The more serious the infraction, the more points you receive. For example, if you're caught cheating, you will receive 3 discipline points and you'll be on your way to 7. If you receive a detention for too many tardies to your first period class, that would come with 1 discipline point. So again, it depends on the violation, and again, if you reach 7 discipline points in one school year, you will find yourself on what we call exclusionary probation. Exclusionary probation means this. You're put on probation for a period of time, usually 9 to 18 weeks. During that time, you are not allowed to attend any extracurricular or athletic events. So for example, if you are a member of the football team and you're put on exclusionary probation, you would be removed from that team. If you are part of a drama production, you would be removed from that drama production if you were put on probation. You could also not attend things such as school dances, such as prom, midwinter, things of that nature. So again, you could come to school and then you can go home. You could not attend a basketball game to watch. You could not participate in a school play. So please make sure that you keep that in mind if you find yourself accumulating detentions throughout the school year. Other consequences that you may receive is suspension. Suspension is out of school. It is up to your parents to figure out what they're going to do with you during the school day, but that is usually reserved for more serious infractions such as fighting. Repeated minor offenses as well could result in you being suspended for the day. If you are suspended, you are responsible for making up any work that you miss. At the top of page 16 you will find our section on expulsion. Unfortunately, there are situations that require us to remove students from our school community. If you are expelled from St. Joseph High School, most likely you will not be allowed to return at any other point during your high school years. As you can see with our new campus, we are very fortunate. Do not do anything that would jeopardize your opportunity to not just be a part of this setting, but more importantly to get the education that's going to come with it. So please keep that door open to you as you navigate through your high school years here. As we move on, we will talk about our drug and alcohol policy, which is found on page 17. First of all, it's very important to understand that we take our drug and alcohol policy very serious. We do that for a number of reasons. One, we want you folks to know as young people that problems with drugs and alcohol can become very problematic to you and your well-being, your opportunity to grow and develop as a young person and as a student. And we care deeply for you and don't want you to be put in harm's way or put anyone else in harm's way. If you find that you have a problem with drugs or alcohol, you can go to your school counselor. You can seek some help through your school counselor without any school consequences being enforced. So make sure if you find yourself in a tough spot where you feel like you're struggling and having a problem, rely on the resources we have for you in our counseling department to get you help. On page 17, letter B, we define what is a prohibited substance, and I'm going to read what that definition is. Prohibited substances include alcohol and other mood-altering substances or drugs other than those prescribed by a licensed physician for the specific student and administered on school premises according to school policy regarding prescription drugs to be taken at school. This includes, but is not limited to, marijuana, cocaine, and alcoholic beverages, most of which may not be purchased legally by persons under the age of 21, or certain substances that may not be purchased, used, or obtained legally at any age. Over-the-counter medication may also be considered prohibited substances. In the event of any uncertainty, the principal of our high school will make final determination of whether something is a prohibited substance or not. Letters C and D talk about consequences for possession, for distribution, sale, or transfer of drugs or alcohol. Basically, this is what you need to know. If you're in possession of drugs on school grounds and possibly even alcohol, you most likely will be expelled from school. Again, that closes your door to your St. Joe High School education. We said at the beginning that this is a policy we take very seriously, and the consequences that come with it reinforce the seriousness of this policy. So again, make sure you don't put yourself in a situation where you may jeopardize your opportunity for an education here at St. Joseph's High School. Letter E talks about penalties for being under the influence. Again, if you're under the influence of drugs or alcohol, that may come with a 3-day suspension up to expulsion as well. It all depends on the situation. It also depends on your past discipline record. So please familiarize yourself with these policies. The best advice I can give you is choose who you hang out with wisely. If you put yourself in positions where you have to make decisions on whether or not you're going to accept or participate with drugs and alcohol on a regular basis, it will be difficult to continually say no to those temptations. We have many students here who do not use drugs and alcohol. Associate yourself with those students. Try and get help for those who might be struggling with any issues so that we can all, again, experience a successful high school career. Now we have some videos on some other discipline situations that might arise or might tempt you this school year.